Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz with you on In the Paint, the Quick Hits edition. A quick breakdown of 3 teams with Bill Raftery, and then one little other nugget. For the full version of other topics, check out the link that simply says In the Paint. But you've clicked on Quick Hits, and here we go as we say hello to Bill Raftery joining us from West Palm Beach. And Bill, let's start with that little quick nugget. The Atlantic 10 certainly has established itself as a very good conference this year. Has it replaced maybe the Mountain West, maybe the Missouri Valley as that next best conference outside these 6 so-called major conferences?
You know, this is an interesting conference. We always used to talk about Temple and UMass. That's all you talked about for a while. Then St. Joe's popped into the scene. And by the way, St. Joe's is a good basketball team, too. But let's talk about Rhode Island, Jace. This is an outstanding. Will Daniels is a terrific performer. The coach's son, Jimmy Barron, can shoot outside. Seawright hits the glass, scores double figures. This is a good basketball team. They've been solid, beat Syracuse up in the Dome. I mentioned UMass. I mean, think of them. Gary Forbes, an outstanding performer, been solid. They've been very competitive in all their games. Played BC, Syracuse. You know, this is a good team. They played a good schedule. Dayton. Goodness, they beat Akron last night in a tough game, but this is a good beat. Pitt at home. Brian Roberts, an outstanding performer. So we haven't even mentioned Xavier yet and GW. I think GW is a good team. They've been a little bit up and down. But Xavier, with Drew Lavender running the show, gets people involved. Sean Miller's got an outstanding basketball team. They can play full half. They do a solid job on the defensive end. They've got a lot of solid basketball players. So this is a year, for many years they only got 2. I think this is a potential of 4 teams to be invited in the NCAA in this conference.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Xavier has an interesting game tonight on this Thursday with Virginia. And then, you talked about UMass. They're doing this without Rashawn Freeman and Lasme, 2 of their top scorers from last year. So they're very impressive as well. All right, Bill, let's forward here to the 3 teams of part of Quick Hits. And, Oklahoma is nowhere near as nice this time of year as where you are in West Palm. But Jeff Capel's squad certainly...
It's cold here, too.
Well, not nearly as cold as it is here in New York, Bill. But, Jeff Capel's squad is certainly looking very good the last 3 games because after losing to Stephen F. Austin, they've come back with 3 in a row against Arkansas, Gonzaga, 2 teams we'll talk about here in a sec, but they've also beaten West Virginia on the road. What's the difference in those 3 games compared to the one they lost to Stephen F. Austin?
Well, Stephen F. Austin had a pretty good start, too, as we recall, but this is a team that's incorporating new people. They've got 2 solid performers that are coming in. Blake Griffin is a great basketball player, 6'10" parade and McDonald All-American. His brother's on this team as well. Johnson has been there a while. I just think it's meshing your talent, and sometimes it takes a while. You're adapting a JC player, a freshman. And Longar's been around. You know what he can do, shot blocking. I think not fouling as you lead him to Longar. So I think it just takes a while. People want everybody to win every game, and so do coaches and players. But in terms of getting coordinated, getting involved, and understanding how to play together, how to play solid on both ends of the floor to develop trust, I think that's what you're seeing now.
And Longar and Griffin are both getting double-doubles in the paint, too, so have been a big part to that turnaround as well. What about Arkansas? So the Hogs lost to the Sooners. They're just 2-2 the last 4 games, including a loss in Little Rock to Appalachian State, who last year was a good team, this year not as much. Are you worried about John Pelfrey's team heading into SEC play?
Well, again, we talked earlier about guards. I mean, I think it's very important that Irvin and Beverly play good basketball. I mean, they got an up front. Darian Towns is an outstanding big guy, very powerful. Stephen Hill, who doesn't get numbers offensively, is a great influence on the defensive end. He changes shots, alters, and, of course, block shots. Thomas as well is another big, strong guy. This is another case of adapting to a system. What do they want to do as a team under new guidance? And I think Pelfrey is one of those guys. He knows what he wants to do. Now, does this talent mesh as the season progresses? And, in a competitive SEC, he's going to find out quickly.
Yeah, especially a competitive SEC West, which is a little underrated this year. All right, Bill, meanwhile, let's go out to Gonzaga because they've been in the tournament every year since '99, and every year they try and bolster a weak conference schedule with great non-conference matchups. But there's a good shot the Bulldogs won't win the WCC this year with St. Mary's playing as well as it has. If not, will the fact that Gonzaga, the fact that they haven't played as well against those big teams as they have in years past, will that haunt them come tournament time 2 months from now?
Well, years ago, Denny Crum at Louisville used to have this type of schedule. You think of John Chaney at Temple. He was the same kind of philosophy. Josh Heidfeld missed the whole month. He's their best player. He's their inside influence, their major inside influence. And they've been guard and perimeter oriented with Bolden and Pargo running the show back there. Pendergast is the heart and soul of this basketball. He's the guy that dives on the floor, very competitive on the glass, can guard big and smaller. I think the committee really respects teams that will go out and play. If you can have a modest record, I think they have an opportunity, if St. Mary's were to win or San Diego were to win their conference, of getting an opportunity to play in the NCAA. This is a solid basketball team, very competitive, and they're going to get better as Heidfeld gets incorporated. And also defensively, I think they have to improve.
And it is a better West Coast conference this year. You said it. They still play Memphis and Georgia, so they still have a couple of tough games as well. Bill, thank you very much, sir, as always, and we'll talk to you next week after we see you this weekend all over the college basketball world.
Okay, Jason, nice to see you. Nice to be with you, not see you.
It's always good to talk to you too, sir. All right, folks, for more from Bill Raftery, be sure to check out In the Paint, the full version, the other full version, and, of course, everything else here on CBSSports.com and all over the CBS Audience Network. For the Professor, Bill Raftery, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care.